Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Previously, I did a podcast on Noah Green. Noah Green is the young man, 25 years old, who ran his car into a Capitol police officer, killed him, injured one more, and as he got out of his car with a knife, one of the Capitol police officers shot him dead, and they tried to immediately connect Noah Green to Minister Farrakhan. Although Noah Green was not a registered member of the Nation of Islam. And it dawned on me, wow, all of these people that ran up in the Capitol on January 6th, no one brought up their religious affiliation or who they pastors or reverends was or priests were, any of that. It was kind of strange to why in effect would they just call out the Nation of Islam like that and automatically connect Noah Green with the minister as if they had like a juicy steak or something, like this hot off the press, this another thing we can pull that magnetic pull that the minister has on the community. They felt as though this situation with Noah Green would separate the love that the people in the black community have for Minister Farrakhan. And so I'd like to read to you all the official statement that the Nation of Islam put out in regards to the attack on the Capitol building by Noah Green. It says the Nation of Islam official statement on the U.S. Capitol assault. It starts off in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. April 6, 2021. Brothers and sisters of the black community, members of the press, and the American people. Now, first of all, I want to show you how important this letter is. One, it starts off and it states, brothers and sisters, because we're family of the black community, because we got to address the black community first, right? Because the Nation of Islam stands for the black community first, foremost, right? So it started off, brothers and sisters. This is, how could I say, this is paying homage. This is recognizing the importance of being called brother and being called sister, a term of endearment, right? So it's coming straight to the members of the black community, right? Brothers and sisters of the black community. Members of the press, second, because, the press and the media sometimes can shape the narrative and shape the way people think by the way they put it out. And also they can deliver news responsibly, factually and truthfully as it's put out. So it's put out so everyone can read it, just in case, though, the press takes it and tries to spin it. And the American people. We have prepared this statement to answer some of the many inquiries that we have had over the last few days about Mr. Noah Green. Naturally, we, like most of you, were disturbed watching the news of an assault on a U.S. Capitol where one police officer was killed. One was injured and Mr. Green was killed. We speak on behalf of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, the members of his family, all of the registered Muslim members of the Nation of Islam and all people of goodwill everywhere, and that we are in sympathy with the victims of this tragedy, and we are in sympathy with the families of these victims. And we, like you, can only offer them condolences and our deepest sympathy for their loss. Our prayers are for the full recovery of the officer who was injured. Like, okay. So they were even praying for the injured officer in this attack. Right. To show you that the Nation of Islam is not hell bent on killing white folk. Whatever the creator, the all in all, has in his powers to do whatever he chooses to do, what can anybody do about it? Right? The Nation of Islam has no history of violence against the government. Federal, state, and local law enforcement are all well aware of our history. We have held 4 national marches, including the historic 1995 Million Man March, which we know to be one of the largest gatherings in the history of the United States of America and the most peaceful on the U.S. Capitol grounds. We had a good working relationship with the U.S. Capitol Police during each of these historic events. It is being reported that Noah Green was a follower of the Nation of Islam. This young man, Noah Green, we believe may have attended our Savior's Day convention in Detroit, Michigan in February 2020 and in March of 2020. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we closed our mosque and began conducting meetings and classes remotely. A search of our records indicates Noah Green was not a registered member of the Nation of Islam. It appears that in late summer, August or September of 2020, he started the process to begin his study to become a member, but he did not complete the process. He did make a donation to the Savior's Day gift. Every year, the followers and the supporters make a charitable donation to the Nation of Islam Savior's Day gift charity. Every donor who makes a donation of 1,000 or more is issued a certificate of completion. This certificate does not establish that the donor is a member in good standings in the Nation of Islam. Mr. Noah Green alleged use of an automobile as a weapon and the alleged possession of a knife, as reported, violates our teachings. We absolutely disavow this act that resulted in the senseless loss of life. It is shocking for us to learn that someone who was attempting to be a part of our ranks may have been involved in something as tragic as this. But we respectfully say to the members of the media and to the American people, Timothy McVeigh confessed that he was a Christian, but nobody blames the church for his misconduct. No one would blame Jesus or their pastor for an unlawful and immoral behavior that is contrary to the teachings of Jesus. Stop right there. This is what you would call when you are free. You speak from the guise of freedomship. You don't have to beg and want people to accept you only if their acceptance is due to truth and on the basis of peace. Right. Timothy McVeigh, no one blamed the Christian religion and pointed out his religious affiliation when he did that horrible act. And free people are saying, hey, what does this young man who stated that he was had some mental issues, he was on drugs, he couldn't where he previously stated he was on drugs, and he was unemployed, and he was going through some things, and he committed that horrible act. But when you go after an individual and try to say that this Noah Green was following instructions or due to the teachings of the Nation of Islam, it led him to do such a horrific act, that's misguiding the people. And so, of course, a statement needs to put out explaining the position and the stance of the Nation of Islam, right? You have criminals, people that do horrific things, but we never know their religion. It's not important because religion does not teach criminal behavior. Criminal behavior is an abrasion. Criminal behavior is a violation. Criminal behavior is absolute rebellion toward what God teaches through the mouth of his prophets. When thousands of American citizens engaged in an attempted insurrection attacking the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021, resulting in the deaths of 5 persons and injuring many, the news media did not question what their religion was. Nowhere in the teachings of Islam, nowhere in the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad could we countenance any man taking the life of an innocent human being. For us, human life is sacred, and the violation of human life is a violation of God himself, because he's the giver of life and he's the ultimate cause of death. But he doesn't give us the right to kill innocent people. That is against our law. We are taught to never be the aggressor in words or in deed. For Allah God hates aggression and is not with the aggressor. This is our teaching. In fact, all of us who are members of the Nation of Islam have been instructed not to carry any weapons, not so much as a penknife, not on our persons and not in our homes. We do not rely on weapons of war to defend us. We rely on our belief in our faith in Allah. We condemn the wicked mischaracterization of some media reports trying to tie this tragic incident to the teachings of the Nation of Islam and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And all people of goodwill should do the same as well. So most of us, like you, are questioning why would this young man allegedly do such an act? If he did, what happened to him? What caused this? The family released a statement published in the Washington Post saying of Noah Green, he was not a terrorist by any means. He had been studying for his master's degree in business administration, but had also suffered from depression and potentially mental illness. It had also been reported in an article from CNN that he shared on social media, I have suffered multiple home break-ins, food poisoning, assaults, unauthorized operations in the hospital, mind control. This young man had struggled in his early life, but overcame much as a student to graduate with a degree in finance. He had a wonderful, noble ideal to help the black and brown people through his knowledge of finance. I am sure Minister Farrakhan states, had he been blessed to come through the crisis that he was going through, he would have been a star in the mission of the resurrection of our people. We need to know what happened to our brother. You know, stop right there. Wow. We need to know what happened to this brother. I mean, he said that he had multiple break-ins. He said he had operations on him that weren't authorized. He even was saying that a system of mind control was being used on him. Right? And some would say, well, why? Well, when you're elevated or highly intelligent in a sense, and your frequency or your thought pattern is different, and some feel that if they can't get you under control, then we'll find any way to discredit you or to make you seem like you done lost your mind, right? So you want to influence others to better themselves, or i.e. what they call get out of your place. You know, how can I rule you if you're not under my system, my rule, my way of thought, right? How can I keep you in line? You know, so he was basically saying, "Hey, man, I'm getting unauthorized operations. I feel like there's some mind control going on with me." He felt as though he was being tampered with, and I guess he felt he didn't have any outlets to relieve that pressure that was on him, and lost it. You know. And some of that is questionable, and some is actually questioning what really took place. What type of world are we living in, and what is the future holding for us as we move forward into time? Things are slowly changing. I mean, I had a conversation today about how music is just changing, right? The whole scope of the music industry is changing. People have ideas of how they think the music industry is based on how it was when they were coming up, right? And so they get into the music industry and they want to duplicate what they mimicked when they was coming up, say 70s, 80s, early 90s, and fail to realize that that's outdated. They don't do things like that. A lot of people not selling CDs out of the back of their trunk. Time has changed. A lot of people not selling mixtapes. They're on the internet. It's been digitally distributed. And so the whole scope of the game has changed. But in your mindset, if you don't have the inside knowledge to what's actually going on, you will approach the situation with what they call an antiquated mindset, meaning that you're trying to bring an old way of thinking into something that's been changed and it's new, and it's just not going to gel, right? So let me finish. So our research is continuing into what happened to this young man, and we cannot rest until we find out what caused him to take a turn like this. We are saddened by the loss of this brother with such great potential. With heavy hearts, we offer sympathy and condolence to his mother, father, family, and friends. That was the official statement put out by the Nation of Islam in regards to the Capitol killings, I guess you call them. Man, they played this event. It was one man, right? One man killed another man and injured another man, which in the statement you heard, the Nation of Islam wished him a successful recovery. But they played this, I mean, extensively, you know. And they kept saying, he was a follower of Mr. Farrakhan. The media was just pushing that narrative. And one day, we have to go into why the media portrays the minister the way that they do, and why the coverage when it comes to black and white is always lopsided. We got to go into and do a show on that one day and figure out what's actually going on. Or what's the game? What's the purpose? Why do you constantly want to upplay any negative actions that's done in the black community, but yet downplay the same act if it's done by a white person and to the white community? Well, what's the gain from doing that? What's the purpose? We got to get into all that one day, because we getting close to getting rid of racism, to where everybody till it's out the window. So we got to delve into a lot of subjects on why certain things are being done. Right? What's the purpose? What's the end game? What is it that people are so afraid of? Why keep a knee on black people's neck? What's the motivation behind that? We got to get into that one day, but I hope you all understand the statement that was put out by the Nation of Islam, and I hope it satisfies some of your questions. A lot of people have been waiting, anticipating what's going on, tuning in to see what's really happening with this Noah Green attack on the Capitol building and the response of the Nation of Islam. When is it coming out? What's going on, and so forth. So if you want to read it yourself, you can go to NOI.org, and it's right there, and you click on it and read it yourself. I appreciate it. I'm thankful. I do think Brother Ishmael is doing a wonderful job. Keep doing what you're doing. And, hope we get some clarity. It's sad. It's always sad when a brilliant mind is taken from us, not natural causes, but it's taken from us. And one more thing before I get out of here, and I said it previously on another show, that George Floyd trial, man, affects a lot of people, and it woke up a lot of people to say, how cruel can one be to put a knee on another man's neck for over 9 minutes? and have no sympathy. Symbolism, statements like that with the knee on the neck, it creates an opposite force, especially based upon the amount of love you have for yourself. You start thinking, and you start coming up with your own survival techniques. I should say it like that, right? Because that was aggression, but to a level that no one had seen. That's why the witnesses who saw it take place are damaged, man. These people can't sleep. That was horrific for another man to do that to another man. That was like some in the woods, jungle type stuff, bro. That was on a whole nother level. So the response will, I'll be on a whole nother level. That's part of the game. It's always been that way. Vote Pick Radio. We're out.